All right, we are live. So,
Corn dog
ta-da! Okay,
Corn dog in the house.
and Tall John.
No, ma'am.
I'm just kind of looking over and making sure we got everything squared away. I got stuff showing up all over. It's driving me crazy. So, anyway, everybody, anybody that shows up, we got two special people that hang out and will hang out with that race with the straight axle mafia. And one of them is Rookie of the Year, Jessica Lile, and the other is runner up in the points last year, actually 2 years in a row now. So, Shane Lile. So, you two peoples, welcome.
Thanks
to
for
the
having
fun stop. And we'll try to extract some information from you people to help others enjoy and do racing and that kind of thing. Because, I think most people understand turn the key, start vehicle, push pedal down, and go, drag race somebody, but that's not the reality of what goes on. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in between. So anyway, we'll start, with Shane. Shane, you've been racing for a while.
I
So
have.
what's let's get a little background on you. Your family been involved. You've been doing it for a long time.
I have. I have spent, I think, my entire life at a racetrack. I mean, my dad was racing when I was just a little kid and grew up around it, helping him. And as soon as I got my learner's permit, he stuck me in his race car, and we took off from there. We raced till 2003, pretty heavy. We run through Super Gas, Super Comp, IHRA Top Dragster, and we just took a break. It got financially, we were making bad decisions to race, and we took a little break, and we kind of run into, we had show cars and motorcycles, and we'd see the straight axle mafia run around and kind of acting a fool, and I was like, "You guys are crazy."
It's like a good time.
But it looks like a good time. And then my dad's like, "I think I'm gonna build a gas." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay. I might race it once or twice. I'm gonna make it streetable." Okay, cool. Then, hey, check out these aluminum heads. What? I thought this was a street car. Well, okay, cool. So during the build process, I'm checking it out. And I'm like, that's a little more in street car stuff there, bud. But okay, whatever. He finally got it done. We went to the racetrack one time. Tucker, our son, was what? Two. He had a blast. We had a blast. He won a couple rounds. It was late in the year, and I was like, okay.
He got the bug. He got the itch right there.
On the way home, I said, "Babe, we're going to make some life changes."
No, we weren't even out of the parking lot.
We're going to make some life changes. We're going to sell a couple hot rods. We're going to get us a race car. And, yep. Alcoholics shouldn't go back to bars when they quit, and I shouldn't have went back to a drag strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. So over that winter, I found the car, made it my way, and she made one stipulation: if I want to drive the car, I can, or if I want to race, I want to race. Okay, typical whatever. She was a little more serious than I thought, but you know how us guys are. When we want to do something, we'll tell them whatever we think they need to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get your space, and sometimes you have to manipulate it.
And then, the whole time she's like, "Well, I don't know. It's going to be fun for you. We got a kid, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "You don't understand racing. Racing people's different." I don't know. My mom, she chimes in. My mom loves racing.
Yes.
And Mom's like, trust us, Jess. And it wasn't 2 or 3 races in. She's like, this is where we need to be.
Yeah.
This is it. I said, "I told you." Told you.
Well, that's about our experience too with Alicia and myself. So Jessica, you how much were you involved in any kind of racing or interest in cars before you met Shane and before Shane got involved in it?
I've been involved in classic cars since birth. Backstory: his dad started a car club locally. My dad joined later, so we were literally born into classic cars. Just the love of cars. He's always had that aspect and drag racing. My dad worked at Louisville Motor Speedway when I was a kid, so I've been around it. I've never actually done it. But once, like he said, we went to the track one time with his dad and he was hooked and I was like, I don't know. And then, being around everyone and learning the environment and like just the flow of things and just the people in general. Yeah, I was hooked pretty early.
Yeah.
So I have no experience, but I was ready. I wanted to do it.
Yeah. So the decision's made, you're going to go racing, and you already put the law down. I want to go. If I want to race, I want to race too.
Mm-hmm.
Was that decision made last year when you guys brought the car up, or the year before to put the car together, or were you already working on one?
It was.
I was a little harder to let go of I had a 56 Chevy pickup. And I really didn't want to let it go. And so his stipulation was, if you want to race, you have to sell your car. He had a 54 Chevy Bel Air. So he sold that to get his car. And I did not want to let go of my truck. But I knew that I had to do this. And I'm actually glad that I did. So
yeah, we all are. I'm telling you, that's part of the fun of the show.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to the racing family here in a little bit, because that's something that I want to talk about. It's what caught me, because I don't have a race car. I show up out there with a few tools and help some people adjust their stuff. So we'll get back to that a little bit here in a little bit. But let's talk about Shane, your last year's success, and then we'll go to Jessica's last year's success, because she had her first full year last year. And I remember you had a couple of passes the end of the previous year, right? Am I right about that?
No.
So you started off last year.
Actually,
I got privileged to run you out and line you up, make sure you were improved a couple of times.
3 races late starting.
Okay.
Because the first race was at Beach Bend, and my dad took the car. His wasn't ready and kind of shook it down for us. And then the following weekend was at US 60, and I drove the car to make sure it was okay, because I'm not going to put her in a car that I know isn't better than mine.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it. And we had a couple issues because the car ended up being a lot faster than we anticipated. I was really shooting for her to have a 7-second car to get her feet wet. And like Tess and Tune, we went out for the first time, and the second pass on the car ran 6:10 and 8th, and I was like,
Yeah,
this is a problem. And so we tried slowing it down the best we could to at least 675, but you almost got the butterfly shut, 3/4 the way off, and it was really inconsistent that way. And I'm jumping around, but she was handling the car okay, and I'm like, I'm gonna let you try it, because you can't race like this. And I think she ran like 6:30 something, and she handled it and she liked it, and it was like, all right, well,
here we go.
Let's do this.
So you ended up at the end of the year, Shane, second in points. We already touched on that.
Unfortunately, yep.
Yeah. And awfully close. It came down to the last pass in the last race that buttoned it up for Joe. That's awfully close now.
It was very close. There was 4. We went into the last race, 4 of us, four drivers could have went home winner. And let's see, there was not the semis, but the quarterfinals. I had a bye, and Joe had to run someone, and I was on his butt too. I was like, "Do not screw up. You screw up here, it's over for you." You know. And lucky for him, the guy red lit, and that put us to where we could have tied if he lost the next round. Then, see, I run Bart, who was third, and put him out, which put Joe and I in the final, which didn't matter at that point because even if I would have won the race, I would have still been 5 points behind.
Yeah.
But it was within 10 points and 15 points for the 1, 2, and 3 cars. So we've got a pretty even program, that's for sure.
Yeah. A consistent program. Just needs a teeny little tweak somewhere. So, Jessica, now you, Rookie of the Year, where'd you end up in points? Remind me.
Sixth.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rookie of the Year was one of my best buds out there's trophy the year before. Man, we were so proud. We were excited. I can't imagine how you felt. You must have just been coming out of the box and doing this.
Yeah. Never doing it before, having to basically just soak up over the last, 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that him and Bill did, everything they showed me, everything they said, and getting in a car and just doing it. And I wasn't some days I was consistent, other days I wasn't, but
we prepped her. I mean, we explained everything we did, what the car did, why it did it. If something broke, this is why, this is what happens. Explaining a timesheet, how to read a timesheet is such a thing so many people don't know how to do. You know, deciphering why you lost, how you lost, where you lost. It's all right there on the timesheet.
Yeah, at first I would just come back and say, "Hey, it made this noise when I did this at this point in the track," and they were like, "Okay," because they knew I didn't know exactly what. Because
Now, here's a compliment. Tightest group in drag racing right now is the Straight Axle Mafia.
Oh,
this is difficult to win this. And you had how many wins last year?
Me?
In your rookie year?
Oh, her?
One.
Yeah. So you got a victory in addition to the Rookie of the Year title. Now, Shane, you poured it on there for a while, but some of the events you won were non-points events. I remember that was a tease.
I think we had 24 races. I made 13 finals, and I won 9 races.
Wow. Oh,
but I didn't win the right races.
Right. That was I heard Joe joke about that a bunch. So now let's step this year. We've had one race this year. We almost had 2, but we got rained out for the first one. And it was a great weekend. The weather was a little chilly.
Yes.
Exceptional, though, for going fast. And Jessica, you want to tell us how that turned out?
It turned out I came in second to Joe.
Last year's points winner.
Yes.
Joe sucks, by the way.
Joe sucks.
He cheated.
He's always one that we got to go after. Always.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every time he wins, you can hear some quack, quack and some waddling.
Oh, he was putting it on thick in the lanes right there at the end. I could hear quack, quack, and I'm just like.
Look, I love Joe. He's become one of my best friends, but we will stop at nothing. I mean, yeah. If we know it's going to happen, I mean, we're talking at the trailer and the lanes.
Yeah.
Flipping each other off, going around the water park. It does not stop until the wind light comes on.
Yeah. I told Jessica, I opened the door and I said, you better respect your elders when she was running up with your dad. And she's, you remember what you said?
No.
When you get in the car, all that stuff goes away.
Absolutely.
It does.
I mean, that's the way it is with the friends too. Yep. That's the frenemy thing that they talk about.
Now, I'm not sure, I'm not saying we don't, with a 3-car team, we don't have strategies. I mean, we talk. We have things we like to do, or things we don't, or the way we do things. But when it comes late in the rounds, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Or at any point, really, especially early in the year. I mean, Dad had trouble, but he was 003 on the tree. She was 025. And both cars, as you know, are always right there on kill. So
Yeah.
it would have been a good race.
Yeah, it would have been an excellent race. So the future now, obviously, both of you shooting for a championship this year, and Jessica's got you beat already, but you got some catching up to do, Shane. But what's kind of a goal for the future for both you guys? I mean, you guys are running against each other, and you got to step it up from 2 years in a row in the second runner-up position, and now you got your best friend sitting next to you competing just as hard as anybody out there, and in my opinion, one of the better drivers out there. And you talk about car control. I want to tell you, there's nothing sweeter than, especially out there at Beach Bend, where we stand behind the car and watch you drive that car down the track. And if it drifts and see you pull it back, that's a lot of horsepower. That's driving. And there are people in NASCAR probably couldn't do that, and they turn the wheel all day long. So, what's kind of like a future goal for you guys? I mean, as far as racing, or maybe even just your life, you want?
Well, race wise, it's hard to say. I mean, we obviously want to do well.
Yeah.
And we're going to strive to do that.
Welcome to Tina. She's here.
You know, any of us want to win the points championship. Her, myself, my dad, and we'll support whoever to do that. And it's real early in the year this year, so it could go either way, and we'll see how it shapes out. And come probably July, August, we'll start coming up with strategies to help whoever's there. I mean, but as a family, we all just want to win races. We want to have a good time. That's the main thing. I mean, we got friends at the track. You know, how many people get to do this with their wife, with their dad and their mom, with their little kid? There's great people at the track. I mean, I can't see us. I've raced all my life, and it's never been an experience like this group. So, you know, we want to preserve that. We want to help it grow. We want to share this with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate it that I've got friends that are heavy bracket racers, and I'm like, sell that fucking thing. Get you a gasser. You are not experiencing racing the way it's supposed to be yet.
Absolutely, yes. I've heard him say it several times, yes.
No kidding. So let's talk about something. You talk about the family at the track. We got kids, and you know, we see Tucker out there. He is that kid is full throttle and just running like crazy. So now you're racing, Jess, and because of the family, I know that's a part of how it can work.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, let's kind of talk about how important it is for the kids to be here, because not only is it's the future of our sport, it's the future of our hobby. You know, it's how important it is, you know, for you guys. We got a lot of kids out there, so it's not just you and me, but it's all this group out there, that village, I guess you could say. So tell me about that. Tell me about Tucker. And
I will say, the good thing about the kids that are in the pits with us, the kids that come by, they see how serious we are about it. They see the competition, and then they come in the pits and they see us all laughing, getting along together. Our kids are running and playing together. Everyone watches out for everyone's kids. It's like everyone is family. Everyone is honorary aunts and uncles. And, you know, they understand that we take it seriously, that, you know, when mom and dad are working on the cars, stand back, you know, pay attention to what's going on. If you need me, let me know. And like, you know, our family is there as well. Like his mom is a big part of what all three of us do. She puts us in the water. She makes sure we're in the groove. She is our water box girl. She is the team behind the team.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to Tucker, she takes him aside and she does her thing, and then we're fending for ourselves.
More importantly, I think a child growing up around a racetrack, not just for us, but for any parent that has a race car, hopefully more when junior dragsters are involved. But I grew up at the racetrack. I learned how to maintain a car. I learned the responsibility of taking care of it, keeping it clean. Hold on.
Kitty.
Cat.
Did you see?
Sorry.
Tina really wanted to be a part of the conversation.
Keeping the car clean. In the wintertime, I was in the garage with Dad, learning about it, helping him build things, fix things, take it apart. By 12, I could do anything to that car with my dad. And he and I still have that relationship. We'll work on the car all day long, never say a word, because we're just in a groove. And you can't teach that at school. You can't teach that on videos. It's hands-on. And we try to do that with Tucker here at the house. At the track, he's playing with his friends. I get it. I did that too.
Yeah.
But kids are important, and you can learn so much more than racing by racing. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I think too, racing for a long time, before our time, was kind of frowned upon as a loser thing. Losers did that. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the car scene, and I don't know if this is the same for you, Shane or Jessica, but for me, that's what kept me away. I mean, I experimented with my beer and other things, but it kept me away from serious trouble. Mm-hmm. And I got friends that went off to whatever you want to call it, La La Land, and they are just, sad cases now. And for me, it's kept my mind focused. It was more important to go fast and enjoy the hobby, the car, than it was to go out there and be partying with my friends 2:00 in the morning, running over other people because we were hammered,
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things that I felt.
Seatbelts was the big thing with me. Like a lot of kids, I guess at my peers, whatever, nobody wanted to wear seatbelts because they didn't really seem cool. But it's like, when you race, it's not a tool or whatever. It's a tool. You learn. This is what's going to keep me from getting in trouble. I always wear a seatbelt. I still do for the most part. Every once in a while, I forget. Just little things like that just keep you from screwing up. Hey, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to do that. It also taught me to want a race car, or at the time I had a little show car or whatever. It's just cars, and it kept me in trouble. It kept me focused, and when I had an extra $200 from whatever, I wasn't looking to buy any beer or any drugs or anything else. I was saving for that next cool part to make my car better than whatever guys got.
Yeah.
And that's where my work ethic come from. My dad, watching him, he worked his butt off to get what he wants. And I've done the same. And you can't tell that to somebody until they see it and experience it.
Yeah. So here's a kid, grew up in racing, enjoyed it, had a goal in life. And like all of us now, our grown-up jobs are related to cars, or, I'm a little bit in a bigger car. You guys are making killer interiors. We'll give people a chance to figure out how to get to you later. But that's it is, to me, the best thing for kids.
I really never thought of it until you just said that, but our entire life, 100%, work, hobby, play, whatever, is wrapped around an automobile.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's cool.
I'm
I'll
not
tell
mad.
you what, when I retire, I plan to roll up with a smile on my face and think about I didn't have to set no track record to put this smile on. I did all right. So,
Yep.
so now you touched on it, Jessica, about Shane's mom, Judy. She's out there lining you guys up. And, I guess, I don't know. I've seen her take notes. I don't know what they are. But she's making sure everybody in your team is settled in and got what's needed while you guys are concentrating on the car. Maybe it's driving or getting lined up or whatever. So, women in this sport is far more important than people want to lead on to. I mean, we have, if you want to go to the, what do you call it? What's the right word? You want to go to what women are thought of, right? That we got dinner. We got that, right? But what about, all of our wives and all the girls are all there, not only supporting their loved one, but supporting everybody and
Oh,
making sure everything is squared away. Joey's wife's constantly working behind his back on things
mhm.
and taking care of things when he's, doing what he's got to do, whether it's racing or handling something with the group. So what about you now as driving? Okay, so you can touch back on that if you want, but tell me about this is a done deal for me, and it was the first time I heard of a girl named Lisa Braybrook. She was racing go-karts right there when I was racing go-karts. And to me, it was just another competitor. I just wanted to kick her ass. That's all it was. Had nothing to do with male or female. So let's get into it now. You are driving a high-powered car, a car that's capable of tipping the nines in the quarter mile. First of all, there are not too many women doing that. So tell me about women in sports, and in particular, what you're familiar with in drag racing.
That's a very loaded question.
This-
I've always been one of the guys, so it just kind of.
It's just.
I don't even really know how to answer it because I don't see them as being any different than me.
Yeah.
They see it, and I think it's hilarious, but I'm just like.
Well, that's easy.
What?
It's easier to race sitting on a box than bounce around on a couple balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably do have it a lot easier than them.
Look, corn faces did.
Well, I think it's important for other girls that, this is not a sport that you get to go out to your ball field and practice.
Mm-mm.
This is, you have to have, especially young people have to have somebody interested in putting the effort out for them to be able to go do it. But you shoot for your dreams. You
Mhm.
go for it. And you know what I think is fun about the male-female thing in racing? And I do it. I like, because I love throwing the fact that Jessica just kicked your butt. I love doing that. I like playing that part of it. And I know I could care less. And I know when I say it to, let's say it's Combs or Burton, I tell them guys that, and they're just, so what? They're just a competitor just like me. They get worked up about it. So, I mean, I play it, but I could care less about it. It's like, just another participant. I think it's cool as can be.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't see any of the guys, or there's another girl, Brittany Greer. I don't see any of them as any different than me, especially because I'm so new to it. And we've got new people. We've got people that have raced for so long. We've got people that just started for fun and they're just learning more and doing more as they go. And I don't see me as any different than them. Even the guys that have been racing forever and ever, like his dad, Joe, I don't see them any different than me at all. Because at the end of the day, I'm racing with them, but I'm still racing myself. I still have to do my job and do what I'm supposed to do.
So give me an idea of what would you tell somebody that's interested in doing this? What's the first thing somebody should do that's interested in it?
Who are you asking?
Either one of you.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
I like the way that I started.
Hang around.
Yeah.
Ask the questions. Pay attention.
Get in the pits. Be help. Look. Pay attention to what people are doing.
And don't just listen to simple things. I mean, dive into it. I mean,
Yeah.
figure it out. I mean, race.
It kind of brings up another thing too that I think about. People think this is an expensive sport, and in ways it is.
Anyways,
You're spending your extra money because you hopefully got your bills paid. You're not showing up at the racetrack and not going to have electricity when you get home. But you guys have exceptional cars. You do a lot of work to them, so there's some money saved there, the amount of work that you do. But let's talk about gassers. Now, old gassers are different than new gassers. We've got newer technologies. We got all kinds of things that we apply to these nostalgic race cars.
So Joe, who started this group, done an exceptional job of setting it up to where you can spend as much or as little money as you want to and be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules are really structured that way. I mean, we've got guys that don't have real fast cars that are kind of basic. You can win and be competitive. You've got people like us that have faster cars, and it's not a money thing. It's just we just have had these kind of cars, and that's just where we ended up. And you can do as little or as much work as you want and still be competitive to some degree.
Yeah, I like it. That's one of the things that this group, the way it's indexed, the way everything is done, is made so that it's up to the driver to get a win. Yeah. It's not up to the machine.
Yeah.
It's up to the machine.
Yeah.
The driver or the crew need to make sure that machine is ready to go and hopefully as close to the same time as possible, those kinds of things. But
we're racing on indexes, and all cars can be competitive if you can tune a little bit and drive a little bit. I mean, it's racing. I mean, there's luck, there's this and that. But
we had
the rules are structured good.
We had some people in the past that just don't like this. We race on that 2.5 index, that quarter-second index.
Right.
And once you pick that index, you have to stay with that, whether we're there tomorrow or it goes like, for instance, this weekend race where we started 500-600 feet above sea level and we ended it with 500 or 600 below sea level type air. And the car's obviously going to get quicker, and you've got to be able to drive the other end of the track. Mm-hmm. And so it's really the driver that does this, right? So that brings up some things. There was some confusion about rules. And one of them had to do with how you keep your car in that spot, that index. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with that or not, Shane.
I'd heard something about it, and I'm not really sure that there was any real confusion about rules, or I'm not sure the right word to say, but there really wasn't any confusion or some misinterpretation.
Yeah.
Not to get into religion, but 8 people can read the Bible and interpret it different ways. Especially when things are, we touched on earlier, very vague. You can twist, shoot holes in, make things say or sound like you want, if you want.
Right.
So racers understand certain things. The people that go up and down the track and push the gas pedal, they understand things the way they want to. Also, like the 5-year-old who can't win because of their inability to do so may think someone else is doing something wrong because they're, what's what I'm looking for? Incompetent. That's the word.
Well, you hit on something too when it comes to that kid when they're racing dad and they can't win against dad. And if dad lets them win, there's I mean, we're not going to play that game at the racetrack.
Mm-mm.
But we're not all about that. Let's let some people win so they feel good and come back. No.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when our guys go out and beat you guys, and we'll say that's the competition, you against us, right?
You're gonna earn it.
And
Yeah.
when we go out there and beat you, it feels good because you people are hard to beat.
You're
And
gonna
when
earn
our cars line up against your cars, and I don't care if it's I don't care what the reason is. If it was just a close race, just a double O light both you, and then the other end was our driver, you broke out or whatever. I don't care what it is. You guys are hard to beat. And if I knew you laid back, I'd be walking away from it. I don't need that kind of pat on the back.
Why would anybody feel good about their day doing that?
No.
Right.
It also comes down to what are you willing to do to be competitive and win? Everybody leaves the racetrack on Sunday and nobody really knows what happens from Sunday to Friday when they show back up. What do? We pull our cars in the shop. We look at them. We alternate between her and my car every other week. I put a wrench on almost every bolt on that car. I know what size they are. It takes 10 minutes. We got a practice tree set up in the kitchen. And we kind of have an unspoken rule here. You walk by it, you hit it 3 times. Walk on. It don't matter.
Who's better at it?
I've done it in the morning, in the middle of the night. We do it.
It's just you do a double take, like, oh, I should probably do that real quick.
We have software on our computer where we can enter our time slip and our competitor's time slip. Each pass basically, and it'll duplicate an illustration of that run. So if you think you're ahead or you're not ahead, it's a teaching tool. We do that. We did that this morning all morning. If our car needs something, it gets it. We eat, sleep, breathe this stuff. And if you put your car in the trailer, you forget about racing on Sunday until Friday, you're going to be hard pressed to beat us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're willing to, just like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or whoever, they're practicing more than the others. They're doing more than the others because they want to be the best. And we all do that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's my dad's fault. We're bred that way.
Bill.
Yeah. I mean, why in the hell would you spend all this time, money, and effort if you're not willing to do it?
Because
Right.
God,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I mean, I hate to say it, but when you're in the family group, it's still best to be the best. I have to admit it. It's a lot more fun, when you're winning than when you're. I'm a bad loser. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
check.
I know you when you thought that Jacob too. I know when you thought that you had got Ronnie the other night, you came in because you missed your car went to neutral from that wonderful shifter. By the way, is there a new one in there yet?
absolutely.
Nice. So that brings up something. Technology has changed. Back in the day, gassers ran cast iron heads because that's what was available. They didn't have all these $1 zillion parts and pieces that we have. Carburetors were just regular carburetors that if you didn't know where to drill the holes, you had just what came off the shelf. Things have changed, and one of the things that's changed is safety. So let's talk about some of those devices. Let's talk about a diaper.
Mm.
So you're one of the ones that's going around to the different competitors and saying, hey, so do that now.
Mm.
Let's talk about it. So,
Well, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. I mean, we I don't think anyone in the group had diapers when we started racing, and because of our past experience running real big inch, real fast cars, I mean, we had not a lot of mishaps, but it happened. And it was like, guys, this is $125 insurance. And luckily, a lot of guys started listening. They're like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I can see that. And I proved it last year with my own car. I mean, I went into high gear at 7,200 and like everything left the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it off the track, pulled around, and it was pouring water and oil out. You couldn't catch it with a bucket, but not a drop got on the track. So at 100 miles an hour, if that wouldn't have been there, that'd have been under my slicks. I mean, I have the car I have today.
Well, there's
It's common sense.
there's that. I mean, we just as a group look so much better when we're not sitting there oiling down the track, messing things up all the time. So
last year we run 24 races, and we put 2 different occasions liquid on a track. One was in the water box. The guy's pit rock fell out. There's nothing you can do about that. And another time was a guy that doesn't race with us normally, had a brand new car, and he put a little oil on the track. But to run the amount of cars we run for 24 races and to never put a drop of anything on a racetrack for a whole season.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That goes good for tracks, promoters, and all that, because we run a very efficient and clean program. I'm not saying something couldn't happen, but you don't get that often.
Yeah. So so that everybody knows, this fits on everybody's car. Doesn't matter make, model, anything. It's just over $100. You save the track a ton of time. You catch your pieces. I guess you got some trophies to give away to your friends when you get to the end of the track instead of picking them all over. But This is an easy thing. And then the track is clean for everybody now. You don't have to worry about the competitors going down there and hitting that with their tires and unloading and turning sideways all of a sudden.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that always scared me when I was on the track. If a car came apart in front of me, what was there for me to get into? And I ran into the wall one time, probably 130 miles an hour, and had to reclip the car because of it, but it went through a guy's oil when he blew his engine up. And it was practice. Nobody knew what was going on. And it was just a straight shot into the wall. Now, that wasn't available then, but it is now. So that's pretty cool. I like it. We've talked about it already. The family, the Sam family. It's one of the things that I want to point out to a lot of my friends too, that they're building cars and they're waiting for one event a year to go take their car out. And they meet their friends, they do whatever. Go to the racetrack, people. You will get to know these people in the group. Find a class you want to run.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, Shane, you and I have talked about this a couple of times. I've been racing a long time in different groups. You've been racing a long time in different groups. This group is exceptional. Nobody out there, I'm telling you right now, anybody listens to this is not going to have the same experience. This is still important. People need to go out, get their car to the track, learn something that makes it fun, gives you an excuse to get up the next day and go have fun with your family. We get done racing, we do not pack up and leave.
Nope.
Just about every competitor is there the next day, packing up, putting stuff away, and driving off on a Sunday.
Well, how often do you go out and compete with a group and then sit down and everybody eat together and laugh about it? And
oh man,
and I've told racers, and it sounds weird, but I'm pulling for you. I hope you win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Against me. I hope you win.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it to you.
I've heard you say it.
I genuinely feel bad
I would be
sometimes
happy
when I win rounds.
I'm telling you, it's hard for me to cheer for my guy when you guys out there, your
It's
dad
like,
especially. I
would
love
happy
Bill.
for
So
you. If you won, if you beat me, I'm happy for you because
Yes.
I know you did it.
yeah.
But
And see,
I'm not going to give it to you.
No.
That's different though than when the car breaks and you get upset, right? I mean, when somebody goes out and beats you and flat out beats you, it's like, man, I took it in the seat that time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I
You're
may
bummed, but you're not
myself.
happy.
Right. I'm aggravated at myself, but I'm truly happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of the best things. So the thing about Sam and the dinner, there
Yes.
are people, when I get there, I like the people I like, and new people come along, and I'm kind of over here, kind of, I have to admit, I'm going to call myself shy. I think I am. So I get over there, and it takes a minute for me to warm up to him. Ask Jimmy Cagle. And it took me forever. And why? That guy is flat out a rock, right? I mean, he's a cool dude. Now, this dinner every Saturday night, and even a little bit on Fridays too. Everybody's getting food together. Nobody's going to starve. You get out there, and we're all stuck on those picnic tables, and you sit next to somebody new. You've seen their faces 100 times. You just can't sit there quiet. You got to turn and say hi. And then Shane comes riding through on his little scooter wearing just his underwear. And you're going to laugh, and you got to look at this person over here and say, you're just laughing and they've been your buddy. You just didn't take the time. That dinner is the best thing for Sam to come along.
Yeah. I mean, it truly makes a family. And I'm in the wintertime, it's hard because so many people live in different states in that, but almost every week there's 6 or 8 of us that live right here. We go out dinner once a week.
Yeah, you guys are Louisville area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't, we don't go out with family that much.
Right. Right.
Chosen family.
And, it's all
it's amazing.
Talking.
So now, just so people know, Shane works side by side with Joe. Joe started this group. Mm-hmm. And Shane works side by side. Man, do I appreciate the work you do. I don't know if I tell you or if I've ever told you, but I appreciate the work that you do because things are lined out for us. The computer stuff is there. We get on the Facebook page. If you're out there, look on the Facebook page, the Straight Axle Mafia, and join the group. You'll get to see people posting their cars and things like that. But let's talk about Joe. You and I have talked about him before. There's been controversy, and I wanted to go beat man, it wasn't a competitive thing. I was mad. And I went over and watched the way he handled it. And I walked away going, I am so glad Joe was here doing this. Because if it was me, maybe I'd have hurt somebody and maybe I'd have been in jail,
Joe and I's good. We're actually probably very total opposites. He's real laid back and chill, and I am not. Let's get this done. I'm aggressive. I want everything done now, and I'll push to get it done, which is good. If there's confrontation, I'm ready and eager and willing to
confront
that head on happily. He's more chill out. So it's gotten to where over the last year and a half, due to different things, I'll want to say things or do things, and I just got to where I run it by him. He's like, nope, don't do it. So I don't even say what I want to say. I just send it to him, and he'll respond. And as long as I can say it, I'm happy. And he's been a calming type.
We have to tone him down a little bit. So.
Well, I think
he's very emotionally invested in this.
No, I am. I love this, and I love this group. I love what we do, and I want other people to enjoy it. But I'm also willing to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because it's been great for me and my family, and the friends I've met here are you couldn't buy them at Walmart. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
So
And it's not that Joe doesn't want to handle it; he just handles it differently.
he handles it differently. He's very passive. He's the kind of guy that will let the universe sort itself out.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So let's hear some what is your favorite track? Both of you.
There's different.
I don't get the race, so
different ones. But if I have to say my favorite right now, I would definitely say US 60.
yeah.
US 60 is my favorite. I love Beach Bend because it's great.
The nostalgia
also,
of Beach Bend.
Yeah.
I like racing at Indy just because of it's Indy.
It's Indy.
Right.
Edgewater has the best pits in my opinion because you have all those trees and the shade and the wind, and it's
Kentucky Dragway is great. We have a good time. They let us have our way.
A lot of people hate it, but the return road, I actually kind of enjoy it. Kentucky Dragway, because I'm just like, little scenic route back to the bids, There's different reasons why I like different tracks. I don't hate any track that we've been to.
No.
So, but my favorite is US 60.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm very excited about the improvements they've made this year.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I can't wait to get out there.
Me too.
So I'm going to pin you down. You got to give me an answer on this. Your favorite lane, left or right lane?
It's different at every track.
So you don't care. It's just one you prefer than the other at any place like US 60?
No,
doesn't matter.
No, because I mean, every lane hits different. The cars that come before you, the way that they prep, every track is different. Every lane is different. So to me, it's more of a habit. If you get a habit.
Yeah. Well, that's
I know. Have a favorite. I don't really care.
No.
I noticed that. You'll pull up and put yourself in whatever lane. It switches all over the
place.
So
basically, I'll tell on ourselves a little bit. Part of our strategy, you don't want to go to the racetrack and run your wife or your dad right out of the gate. So one of our little strategies, which I've heard some people in the past complaining, if you think about your next round, you must be keeping. It's a strategy, just like any sport.
Right.
So us three will say, hey, here they draw cards. What lane do you want to run out of, Jess? She said, I prefer the left. Okay, we're out of the left. Let's space ourselves. We'll let a car get in between us so we can't run each other. We'll do that until we have to.
Yeah.
Or like this past weekend where you just run out the way you go. What lane do you want to run up? She doesn't run out of the left. She picks a left. It doesn't matter to me.
I think it's just habit because I don't hate it.
And if I have to choose or get to choose, I will choose based on my opponent. What kind of car do they drive? How do they see out of it? What lane have they been running in? Can I put them in a lane they don't like? That's how I do.
Yeah. See, that's something too. I've seen you out there during the race. You're still in the show. And people come up and ask you questions, and you give them the flat out answer on how to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that doesn't happen everywhere. I think it probably does in practically every group, but you're out there winning a bunch of races and these guys come up with a question and you answer. I've heard you answer and walk away going, well, he just gave away a speed secret there. You're not holding back.
But I also know, are they willing to do it?
Yeah.
Are they willing to put in the work? I mean, you're not going to be a marathon runner if you're not willing to wake up at 5 a.m. and run 2 miles in the morning. I'll tell you how to do it, but are you going to get up and do it?
Yeah.
So it's up to them. I'll give you the secrets. If you're willing to put in the work and come beat me, come on.
Yeah. All right. So I've always wondered this question. Which one of you is the crew chief out there? I see Jess coming around with the tire, putting air in the tires. I'm okay. It must be Shane's the crew chief because he's saying, I want this in there. Next thing you know, he's over there popping the trunk and pouring fuel in it.
Well, we share. So I do the tires, he does the fuel. I'll pop trunks and I'll go do the tire. I don't do the tires until I know, like, say, the class that's running before us. So
No arguments.
Yeah, no.
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 It's kind of a rule. She just does tires.
Yeah.
I do the rest.
Yeah. Well, I know Alicia hates to get gas, so seeing him put your gas in, I'm like, just like a wife.
Well, we pull in. I got, I'll open my trunk, fill hers up. I'll, fill mine up. We're right there.
We just have a system.
If her car needs adjusting, I just do it, and I'll tell her, hey, you need to watch for this, this, or this, or hey, don't worry about it, run it out, or I try and explain to her what we're doing, why, and just tell her this and that, and she listens and does it. I mean,
and I can't tell you what he tells me, but it just clicks and just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, the most recent this past weekend, she run. Well, I think she run a 626 something and one, and I was like, all right, look at the flags, the headwind's dying down a little bit. I'm gonna put an extra gallon of fuel in, which is about almost a whole number, from a 26 to a 27, about 8,000. So, I mean, we got our cars dialed in, we figure out what does what, and that just takes time. So I say, look, the headwind's down, watch the flags when you stage. If the flags are down, you're going to break out. If the flags are a headwind, run it all the way out. Pay attention to what you're doing. I mean, it just comes to that, and she'll do it.
Well, we're running out of time, but let's do one thing I wanted to, how do you keep your car competitive? And you just touched on it with fuel load. And what are things that you do to make your car run that same time pass? Because you guys, Joey's the same. Your guys' car just, nobody can tell whether you're letting on or off the gas, but your cars are like, Jess's car was a 625, 625, 625. Your car was running that 60, 60, constantly, every pass.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then, you guys are both hitting the light too. I mean, you're just ripping, just going through the field because of it. How do you keep your car consistent like that?
We are religious about that practice straight. It's the habit. It's watching. It's that.
The cars, I mean, tire pressure, temperature, and
pay attention to the weather.
Pay attention to the weather. Everything. I mean, that's on your phone. You've heard me tell everybody, hey, your app, it's free. It tells you every 15 minutes where the thing's at. Learning what those numbers mean on the barometric pressure, the water grain, the humidity, the adjusted altitude. We've done the work. We've tested. We've got the data. We keep notes. We know what movements do what. We know what 25 pounds in my car does, 25 pounds in her car does. We know what a gallon of fuel in her car does. We know all these little things. And every round, we, as much as we like to hang out and socialize, we definitely take a few minutes and say,
it's a lot of work, but
here's where we're at. Here's what we should expect. I'm going to do this. We have a conversation every round. I'm going to do this. This should happen, but pay attention to this in case it don't.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent because the effort shows. I love it when we get to pit next to each other too, because I kind of pay attention to what's going on. I'm a nosy person, and I watch you guys over there working with the car. I see you tweaking on stuff. The hood will come open, and you'll adjust something, and there's always something going on. And as soon as you're done, you come over relaxed as a cucumber and just running around smiling and catching up with all the gossip, I guess you want to say. I don't know if that's it, but I'm just saying.
Trying to find where my child is.
Right.
Who has my child?
Yeah, where's the kid?
You know,
But anyway, I love it, and it's really a thing that I think anybody can learn. That's one thing I'm so glad. It all is in the effort that you do.
that's it.
And
Like anything. And we do have a little advantage. I mean, we have 3 cars in our team. You know,
yeah,
Jess and my dad, and all 3 cars are pretty much identical.
in fact, I'm going to show a couple of pictures of those before we go.
And like we got to the track, and Dad, we worked on him this winter. We put it on alcohol. We done a lot to make it identical to ours. And he said, "Where do I start?" I said, "I'm gonna set yours exactly like I set Jessica's." She went out run a 626 with a 2. He went out run a 626 with an 8.
Man,
You do?
now that last pass, Jess, you ran like you broke out, but you run like a 224 with an 8, I think.
Correct.
When I tell you I fell asleep at the tree, I'm not even joking.
But the round before, she went a 25 with a 4.
Yeah.
Changed lanes and went a 24 with an 8 and lost 100 foot in altitude. And, you know, what do you do?
Right.
But I knew I had a stinker of a light, and I just ran it out.
Okay, I got to get this coming up here. I screw this up all the
Oh, I
time.
love this picture so much.
Yeah, that's me and my brother and my mom and dad back when I was probably Tucker's age. So that was probably 40 years ago. God dang,
Yeah.
that's bad. So my dad started racing a 23 T-Bucket. My mom drove that on the street on Sundays to car shows, believe it or not.
Judy's a badass.
Yeah. It's cool to see this picture because I see you people now. I've never known you from then, but I see you now. And your dad, he just all humble there, and Judy looking all cute, backed up. And you guys. All right, let's go with a different one here. I should have been showing these as we were going along, but I forget because I get involved in that conversation and just love it. Okay, we'll pick this one. What do you think?
Yeah, that was my
Ah.
first race car. We run IHRA Quick Rod, which is the same as a Super Comp with that car. And I was 17 in that picture, maybe.
Yeah, that's awesome. And all you Mopar guys, that's not a 440 Chrysler.
No. We ran 40, 60 over. That was our combo then.
Yeah, it's a beauty. I like it.
It ran 530s in the 8th. I mean, it was a fast car.
530s in the 8th. Wow. And you were 17?
Yep.
Wow. All right, here we go.
Oh, yes.
There's my baby.
Now you got 2 identical. Whose car is that in the background?
That's my dad's. He runs Super Gas, and I run Super Comp and Top Dragster with that car before we put the real big motor in.
The real big motor. You want to elaborate?
Well, it wasn't real big now, but then it was a 565, I believe.
Wow.
A lot of nitrous.
And
I
that
mean-
car still races as is today, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
we painted it since then, but that car actually sold and went to Australia.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Same motor, same basic car.
Not as that, but yes, same combo.
All right, let's do this. Now, we're talking about our Sam group, right?
Yep.
Let me get rid of this picture here. Come on. My computer's kind of goofing. We want this picture here. Give it to me. There. Oh, that ain't it.
Oh,
What the hell?
Stop doing
I
that.
see you trying to click it.
All right, let me, maybe I just need to get rid of all of them here, and maybe it'll only let me do so much. That is a good picture right there.
I love that picture.
Okay, so we'll get that one down. let's try this one here. Okay, so this was, oh, come on. What is going on here? You crazy thing. I'll try this one here. All right, so this is from the banquet when we were. I guess we're not going to do it, folks.
Be right back.
Okay.
I don't understand it at all.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's the way it is. All right, I'll bring
Computers.
that down.
Ooh, I like that car.
You like a 69 Cornet?
I like
Convertible.
big cars.
We're going to bring that down. Let's see if this works. There it is.
Yeah.
So this was last year
Mm-hmm.
at Bowling Green when Bill was runner-up against Wayne.
Yes.
Let's see. And there's come on, Pointer. There's Judy. There's Bill. And there's Shane, Tucker, and Jessica.
This was 2 years ago.
Is it 2 years ago now?
Fall Classic?
It is 2 years ago. That's right, because that's the old belt.
Yes.
Yeah. Tucker was having so much fun carrying that around and
He loved that thing. And
showing it off. But this is so cool because here we are at the end of the day. It was a long day. I think it was on Sunday too, wasn't it, Jessica?
it was on a Sunday.
And look at all the competitors and families still out there. There were still people back there in the pits too.
Yes.
But everybody's out there enjoying everybody's friendship there. It's just amazing. This is so fun. I love this group.
Yes.
All right, now let's see here. Now we're doing.
Here we go again.
This pointer's getting stuck. I think my computer's. Come on. Come on. All right,
That's another
I'm not a
thing.
computer
Cool.
savvy fellow, so
Nobody leaves, and everybody's up there cheering on the people. Even if they just beat them, they're cheering them on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like people leave the starting line. Nobody says nothing, and no matter whose win light comes on, the same people cheer. Like, we're happy for whoever wins.
All right. So this was the meeting we had when we were discussing at the banquet this year. And this was kind of the group that showed up for when we had our meeting about, was it change of points, whatever it was. I can't remember what we were
Sort of a
meeting.
open floor discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody got a smile on their face. This is, what group gets together, all these different times of the year. You guys touched on that a little bit, and that's so cool.
Yes.
Troy down there.
There's a
Crazy.
lot of groups that copy a lot of what we do, but you can't copy that.
No, you can't fake that, man.
Nope, you can't.
What is that was fun thing?
That's Jacob with his.
I hear you, bud.
All right, so we got just a couple more to do. There's Jessica doing her little burnout, just a little burnout, getting them tires prepped, hot, heated, ready to go.
Jamaica.
Let's get to. Let's see. There you go. If you've never seen Shane's car, it's all over the internet, and there it is. I know, Jessica, I've seen yours showing up here and there too.
It is. I'm like, oh my God.
And I'll be going out to the duct tape drags this year. Last year when I was out there, I think I told you somebody was walking through the pits and had a sandwich maker shirt on.
And now it's so wild.
It is crazy, isn't it? How it gets around.
Yes.
So here's a good picture of the sandwich maker. If I can, Shane, get out of there.
Why are you always trying to steal my thunder?
Daddy.
There we go. 1956, right? 56 Chevy. Yeah, that's an amazing car right there.
Yeah.
It was so fun this weekend watching from where we're at and watching you run that car down the track.
Yeah.
The car almost straight, but you had to drive it.
Huh?
It almost goes straight, but I seen you driving it.
Oh yeah, I
Mm.
had to drive it for sure.
It's a killer car. It
Yeah.
handles amazing. It's way faster than it should have been.
Yeah, but I'm not mad about it.
It's a good car. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. So then
You
this
want
was,
to know a little fun fact?
yeah.
I have never lost a race in her car.
In her car?
Mm-hmm. I've won. I've drove it, I think, 3 times. I won. Take that back. I had a brake caliper blow out at 3 cars, and I had to bow out. That was when I staged the car. Do you remember that? With no brakes? Hoping I could make Joe red light.
Man, I'm telling you, that was one of my favorite Shane Lile moments right there. We were sitting there going, what in the hell is he doing? And then when you did all that, just see if you could get him off. You had to do something.
Yeah.
You know, you had to do something. And you pulled it off, and it was just, I was just, it was awesome.
There's
That's
a lot
all I
of
can
strategies. But past that race, I think I've raced it 3 times and I won every time I've drove it.
Mm-hmm.
Her car's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. That's a story we'll get into just for a second, but we're at
I've won more times in your car than you have.
I'm new, and I beat you my first year. So
they do that at the track too, people. I'm telling you.
We're gonna have a domestic disturbance here at the house.
All right, so it comes down to a final, and between Shane and Joey, and the brake caliper come apart or something on Shane's car, which is Jessica's car, and nobody knew really what was going on, except of course Shane. And so, in order, if he could get Joe to jump a red light, all Shane had to do was roll off at 20 miles an hour and get to the end of the track and pull off a victory. So he played it, he acted it out all the way, did a burnout that was goofy as heck.
All I did was put it in,
Just like,
rev up the motor and make it sound like I was doing
yeah,
it.
I mean, the car jumped or did something, and you went to roll it up to the line and do all this stuff, and then Joe didn't red light, and you ended up having to back out. But anyhow, it was confusing because I didn't know what the hell was going on. But in the end, it was the most brilliant work I'd seen. I was so, man, I'm like, Shane is my best friend. I love Smokey. And, you told me about it, and everything was exactly what you said. So I was just like, wow, this is awesome. And anyway, you guys are amazing. And we are so thankful that you are a big part of this group, where you're at in the group. Jessica, I always cheer you on every time somebody's running against you. I'm always cheering you on.
yeah.
And so you guys, thanks so much for coming.
Hey,
And a quickie just to announce too, we're going to start doing lives similar to this at the racetrack, and US 60 in particular.
Yep.
And we're going to be putting it on the Straight Axle Mafia YouTube page.
Correct.
Or channel.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that way, you guys, if you want to see the Mafia run, you want to see the other drivers and competitors, I'll be handling some of the interview stuff. I'm sure Shane, Jessica, we'll all take a part of it, but we're going to start doing that this year. We're trying to get our technology put together, and I'm kind of relying on
somebody or something. Just say something to John, and yeah. You want to see something about the cars? We'll show you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the schedule for the Mafia is posted on the Straight Axle Mafia Facebook page, and anybody is welcome to come out and come over and say hi. Meet your favorite driver. You guys have shirts and other things for sale, right?
We do.
Yep.
Now, is that stuff you sell online or just get the track?
This is the track.
Okay.
But if you guys
come on out,
kids, bring them over. We'll put them in the car, take some pictures.
Oh, look at that beautiful shirt. Oh,
John's
it's one of my favorites.
Love it. It's beautiful. Yes, we've got shirts. Joe and Debbie always have the Straight Axle Mafia merch. The whole trailer is stocked full.
We got
At every
temporary
race.
tattoos for
Yes.
kids.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Love
The
putting
temporary
kids in the
tattoos.
car. Bring all the kids. Bring them over. We'll put them in the car.
I tell you what, you become part of the family. You can come and hang out and do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cheer us on, cheer them on. Get yourself a car out there. Again, it is cheap. If you got a car at home, put a straight axle under it. We got one guy running practically a stock 350 Chevy engine in his car, and another guy running a stock big block Ford in his truck. You know, with just
You
a
guys
few
are
mods.
there.
But they're competitive and they're
Yeah.
great guys.
Oh gosh.
And
Well, both of them have won. You know, Wayne has won what, 3 races, two or three last year, 2, 3 the year before.
yeah,
Jimmy won 2, 3 races last year, 2, 3 the year before. They're competitive,
Yes.
so you know, you can get out there and have fun, and anybody is willing to come out and wants to join this family and be a part of this group. It is open to everybody.
almost everybody.
Almost everybody.
Well, you got a good point there.
We
I'm on
get
your
into
side.
that today. We're not going to get into that
This is a family program.
So anyway, thanks you guys for showing
Hey,
up.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, we're
US
going to be
60?
missing the next couple of them, but we'll
Yeah. You going to be at Indy?
No, we won't be at Indy.
All right. US 60 the week after?
Yes, US 60.
On Thursday?
On Thursday for Mexican food.
All right.
I already put in the request.
All right.
Thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you. Corn dog.
That's me.
That's the first thing you said all day.
Let's see. There we go.